Do you want a website host that will make sure your websites are blazing fast? Do you want a host with a company that has included with it a fixed for you guarantee where they take care of all your WordPress problems for you and over 90% of issues are resolved on live chat in real time? Do you want a host that will migrate your sites to them for free within 24 hours? Do you want a host that has built-in malware scanning to make sure your sites are secure and up and running all the time? And do you want that host to be the most affordable out of all the premium hosts you see in this table? Then WPX just might be for you. And they just released WooCommerce plans. I've done some previous videos where we went over their hosting account and their fixed for you policy and things like that, which is awesome. But now they have WooCommerce specific hosting. And in this sponsored video, we're going to take a look at what that means for your WooCommerce site. So the WooCommerce hosting is a little more expensive than the traditional hosting. That's because you get much more resources, because WooCommerce sites usually need more resources. If we switch to monthly, we see the Power Store plan, which is the lower level plan for WooCommerce stores, is $35 a month. Yearly, it's $5 cheaper per month, and you can switch back and forth when you go on the site and check it out. But what really matters is the stats that you see here. The base level plan, Power Store, is good for one website, 20 gigabytes of storage, 300 gigabytes of bandwidth, 4 gigs of RAM per site, 4 PHP workers per site, and 2 CPU cores. And what does all that mean? It means that your sites are online and run faster with higher amounts of traffic than on other hosts. If you have a WooCommerce store already and you're shopping around for a host, you probably know these stats for your site. So log into your current hosting account, see what resources your website demands, and see how WPX can outperform whatever host you're probably on currently. And this also includes with it free malware removal, 30-second average support response time, free fixes if the site is offline, free site speed optimization, 30-day money-back guarantee, 99.95% uptime. You almost can't go wrong. And then if you need more stats or you have more WooCommerce sites, you can upgrade to the higher plans. If you're like most e-commerce owners, you run campaigns throughout the year, or at the very least, you notice seasonal differences in demands on your website, and sometimes you might exceed these limits. What happens is, that's okay. You can exceed these limits for a short amount of time as long as you come back below these limits eventually, within a few days. And so what that means is if you have this plan right here, $29, and you're allowed 300 gigabytes of bandwidth, which is basically how much data is transferred between you and your customers and you and your website visitors. If you exceed that during Christmas time, for example, and it's only being exceeded for a short amount of time, a few days, then your site will just carry on. It'll be online. It'll be all fine. Whereas other hosts might shut you down because you exceeded the resource limits. And if you find that you're constantly above the limits on your account, WPX will probably email you and say, hey, you should think about upgrading. And you yourself should think about upgrading as well, because the last thing you want is to have your site go down because you've exceeded your limits for too long, because upgrading from $29 a month to $62 a month is $30. You're probably going to lose more money than that by having your site go down. So it's best to upgrade to get more resources when that is needed. If you want to geek out, you can check out what all the WooCommerce plans include. It's a pretty big list. We went over some of these things already, and I encourage you to read through them, but some of the big highlights are they migrate your site to their platform for free because you're probably coming from a different host. It's super easy to get over to WPX. Daily malware scans to make sure your site is secure and online. A staging area to make sure that you can make changes to your site in a safe environment and then push those changes out to your main site when you're ready. High-speed custom CDN, that's the content delivery network, which makes sure that your content is pulled up and delivered quickly anywhere in the world. Solid-state storage for the hard drive space to make it super fast. Unlimited email boxes. You probably only need a handful, but you have unlimited. Free SSLs. For even more security, they have a managed web application firewall, 24/7 tech support, DDOS protection, two-factor authentication, 28 days of automatic backups, brute force protection. They have everything. Everything you probably need from a host is at WPX. And again, if we compare the plans, this is the regular WordPress hosting versus the WooCommerce hosting at WPX, which you can compare. But if we compare to, they just recently introduced the Redis cache, which helps your site load faster. You don't have to worry about the details. You can look them up online if you want. We're not going to get into that in this video. But the bottom line is your site loads faster for your visitors. And the number one feature I think that we touched on earlier is the support.
Don't worry about it. I'll be with you every step of the way.
I know a lot of you guys have websites that you're running and you don't have time to fix problems as they come up on your site, and minor ones you just leave them, or you don't know how. Both of those things. WPX will help you with all the tech problems on your site within reason. They're not going to rebuild your entire site for you, but if you have, for some reason, images not loading on some of your pages, they're going to come in and check it out and see if they can find the problem. If you have certain pages that aren't loading for whatever reason, they'll come in and check it out. If you're hitting resource limits, but even though your account is within those limits and something's going wrong on your site, they'll come in and check it out and help you figure out what it is, and oftentimes fix it for you. That's amazing. That is amazing. And that's included with your account for free. If you're to hire a service like WP Fix It, that's $47 per fix per site. And you get it for free with WPX. And you get so much else for free, as you can see on this list here. I don't have to read them all for you. I know you know how to read, but what you're getting is a lot of premium services bundled in WPX for a very affordable price. And there's a full page on the Fix It For You policy that you can check out at this URL. I'll link to it in the description down below so you can check it out for yourself. But basically what you have to know is you contact support, often via live chat. They respond roughly within 30 seconds. You can read more about that through this link. They'll check to see what the problem is and briefly explain it to you, and they'll fix the problem ASAP for free and get you back up and running normally without you having to read technical articles, technical jargon, get into the code, or anything like that. They won't be able to fix absolutely everything. But before you find a different place to get your fixes done, go to their live chat, ask, see what they can do. Because most often, it's a quick fix and they can do it for you right there on the live chat. So if you have a WooCommerce site and you want to upgrade your hosting, check out WPX. You owe it to yourself because they're the WooCommerce host with the best stats as far as I've seen. And I encourage you to check out everybody else as well and compare. WPX has comparisons right on their website, as you saw, because they're not afraid of you comparing them to others because their stats are almost always better and they have more premium services bundled in for you to take advantage of. So check them out. And even though WPX as a host helps your site be blazing fast, you still are able to do optimizations on your site as well. Check out this playlist right here, which is all about making your WordPress site super, super fast. Because as you know, faster sites means more sales, especially for e-commerce sites. So make sure you check that out. And if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. My name is Bjorn from WP Learning Lab. Till next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.